I was sent this Reddit thread, and it's in the subreddit for Christian marriage. I really do not like how religion socializes women to be subservient or just take whatever. And I'm agnostic because of it, because I just simply do not like the way we are socialized in religion to just accept whatever. Sacrifice now for your benefit later. Go through hell now so you could get to hell on the other end. Your test now so you could get to your testimony. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of this narrative. But let me just get into this story. She asked, "Why doesn't the church admonish more terrible husbands?" She says, "I'm in an abusive marriage. My husband is a habitual liar, and he's the victim in every single story he tells. He also does this thing where he'll technically tell you the truth, but he left out so many details and so much context that the picture is his truth painted as a total lie. It's exhausting. He's controlling and angry. He has addictions. He expects me to do 100% of everything, all the chores and child rearing, all lawn chores and property maintenance, all repairs and budgeting and money management, literally everything except earn the income. And recently he's hinting for me to get a job to help pay the bills on top of everything else. He expects because he earns the income, he shouldn't have any other responsibilities of any kind at all, ever. He won't even serve himself dinner I cooked. Someone else has to. He expects me to only care about receiving money in our relationship. I shouldn't want hugs or kisses or sex or conversation or time together or anything actually relationshipy, just money. But I should freely give these things when he wants them, except sex. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want that from me at all. He also expects to control the money, and he wants to know where it all goes and judges my spending, even though he knows I'm very frugal. Anyway, throughout the years, he sought the counsel of pastors and then therapists, always blaming everything on me, conveniently leaving out all of the things he had done. Two pastors and three therapists, licensed professionals, have called me into their offices, letting me know how horrible I am without so much as considering there might be another side to the story. Apparently, all our problems are solved if I respect my husband more. We had one pastor trying to mentor him to be a better husband. I was ecstatic. Finally, someone who saw the real problem and wanted to fix it. One day, Pastor asked me if I'd been sufficiently complimenting all of my husband's work so that he would be encouraged to continue. I'd asked, "What work?" Husband had told the pastor he had done all these chores and things he didn't do. I told him as much and told him part of the problem is husband lies. He said he can't help him if he's going to lie and just threw up his hands and quit. My hope dashed. Things have gotten worse because these idiots who think they know something trying to tell me it's my fault just embolden my husband's shenanigans. He thinks our relationship is fine. If there are problems, then I'm the problem. To my actual point in posting, why doesn't the church do more work teaching men how to be proper husbands and holding them accountable instead of putting all the work on the wives? I've been told by clergy, pastors' wives, women in the church, men in the church, and even friends that it's my job to do all the work. I have been flexible and respectful and steadfast. I'm not to divorce, I'm to suffer for the sake of the Lord and remain in an abusive marriage. It's also implied that I deserve it because I'm not praying enough or I have some sin and I need to deal with. And this is a common issue in the church, turning a blind eye to abuse, telling the woman they need to do more and be more and endure while not telling the husbands anything. Why focus only on the scriptures for women and wives? What about the myriad of scriptures telling men how to be proper husbands and saying that the head of the house is out of order? His household will also be a mess. I'm sorry, man. This is terrible. I'm sorry. Okay, let me get back to it. I was trying to talk to a friend yesterday, and I started by saying I was keeping my mouth shut because I just complained. She asked for honesty. I gave it to her. She defended my husband because I should surely still give him the benefit of the doubt after 20 years of the same thing over and over. This is how socialization through the church harms women and girls. I feel so sad for women who are shamed into remaining in these relationships and institutions that treat us less than. I really am glad that women my age and younger are leaving the church because we deserve better than this. We shouldn't have to be at fault for everything and always have to take accountability for their behaviors. It is not in it is not your life's work to just suffer at the hands of these people. You are bigger than that and you deserve more than that. Now for a story embedded within the comments. She says, I left my marriage of 32 years 3 days ago for everything you mentioned here. My kids are 30 and 28 and 12. He gave zero help raising the first two, both girls. Our son, he has been amazing, but as a partner, not so amazing. I put in my own dishwasher using YouTube. The home we bought has never had a dishwasher, so I had to learn how to do electrical hardwiring, remove a cabinet, install, and do all of the plumbing. I do all of the house maintenance unless he is forced, aka another man around who sees it break. He expects intimacy more than twice a week. And I work full time right now as a nanny to my grandkids. And I've always had a part time job or a home business to help with finances. Um, I'm not exactly sure what this is saying, our tamale life. Oh, maybe our intimate life. I'm not sure what this is saying. So I'm gonna skip that. Okay, maybe it's our intimate life is me telling him a story about all the Black men who had their way with me on stage at my dancer job, calling myself all manner of evil terms. I've never been a dancer. I've been married 2 times. Husband number one left me when I was 19, and then this godly husband, small g intentionally. I caught him on affair number 3. He has been acting weird, staying out till 3 a.m., checked out, cell bill, and thank God she has an Android phone, so it's listed. I gave him my best years. My health is bad now with diabetes, high blood pressure, and arthritis in my knees. He is still in good health, energetic, loves to hike and play basketball with our son. He is 57, me 52. Do not be like me and end up sick and abused for 32 years. You cannot change him. You never will. This man attends church every Thursday and Sunday, is in the men's ministry, and has always been even through 3 affairs. I quit a corporate church 12 years ago because they are not run biblically. Not one I've been to adheres to biblical teaching. So in this story, we hear of how a man latches onto a woman, is able to suck all of her resources, keep energized, and that parasitic energy drains her and enhances his life. And I really wish women would stop allowing these men to attach to them for this long. Now her health is failing and he's invigorated still. He has enough energy to be out and about gallivanting. And keep in mind, these men speak to us as if we need husbands because they're going to run around and do all of the hefty lifting. But she's talking about she installed a dishwasher after pulling out some cabinets and putting in some plumbing. Y'all, life is not supposed to be draining for us. But I see too many women allowing these people, these parasites, to attach, leech our time, energy, and resources. And then women are left a shell of themselves. And it's sad. We deserve better than this. I'm sure that their supposed God, is not rubber stamping this mess to get in the good graces. Y'all should not have to go through this type of hell to get to the heaven on the other side. This is the reason why I just cannot be down with this type of self-sacrifice. Who is it benefiting outside of the men? Y'all go ahead, jump in the comments and let me know what you think about this one. Like, comment, share. So people have been telling me to read this book, Why Does He Do That, for a while, especially with all of the story times that I do, all of the women issues that I speak on. I have been having this in my queue to get to. So I'm going to read a passage from this book. So I'm about to talk about entitlement. This one is entitled, He Feels Entitled. Now I'm reading this because I believe that this is bigger than just these particular men. I believe that this speaks to religion and patriarchy in general. So, okay, number two, reality number two, he feels entitled. Entitlement is the abuser's belief that he has a special status and that it provides him with exclusive rights and privileges that do not apply to his partner. The attitude that drives abuse can largely be summarized by this one word. To understand entitlement, we first need to look at how rights should be properly conceived of in a couple or family. So these circles represents the rights and privileges between family members. Man and woman are equal. Children is a little bit smaller, but not substantially smaller. Okay, the man's rights and the woman's rights are the same size. They have the right to their opinion and desires respected, to have a 50% say in decision making, to live free from verbal abuse and physical harm. The children's rights are somewhat smaller, but substantial nonetheless. Children can't have equal say in decisions because they're limited knowledge and experience, but they do have the right to live free from abuse and fear, to be treated with respect, and to have their voices heard on all issues that concern them. However, an abuser perceives the rights of his family like this, with the bigger circle and the smaller circles. Not only are the rights of his partner and children diminished, with some abusers, those little circles disappear altogether, but his rights are greatly inflated. My fundamental task as a counselor is to get the abusive man to expand his perception of his partner's and children's rights to their proper size and to shrink his view of his own rights down to where it belongs. The abusive man awards himself all kinds of rights, including physical caretaking, emotional caretaking, sexual caretaking, deference, freedom from accountability. Okay, physical caretaking is the focus of the more traditionally minded abuser. He expects his partner to make dinner for him the way he likes it, look after the children, clean the house, and perform an endlessly continuing list of additional tasks. He sees her essentially as an unpaid servant. He grouches, I work my butt off all day, and when I come home, I expect a little peace and quiet. Is that too much to ask for? He seems to expect a soft chair, a newspaper, and a footstool. On weekends, he expects everything in the home to be taken care of so that he can watch sports or tinker with his car, go golfing or bird watching, or sleep. If she doesn't fulfill her myriad of household responsibilities to his satisfaction, he feels entitled to dole out harsh criticism. Although this style of abuser may seem out of date, he is alive and well. He did learn to use some prettier packaging for his regal expectations during the 80s and 90s, but the change is superficial. Fewer abusers look me in the eye nowadays and say, I expect a warm, tasty dinner on the table when I come home, but they still may explode if it isn't there. Interwoven with the abuser's overvaluation of his own work is the devaluation of his partner's labor. My clients grumble to me, I don't know what the hell she does all day. I come home and the house is a mess. The children haven't been fed and she's talking on the phone. She spends her time watching soap operas. If she works outside the home and few families can get by on one income, then he insists that her job is easy compared to his. Of course, he attempts to do what, of course, if he attempts to do what she does, for example, if he is the primary parent for a while because he's unemployed and she's working, he does an abrupt about face. Suddenly, he declares that parenting and housekeeping are monumental and admirable tasks, requiring hours a day of rest for him to recuperate. Emotional caretaking can be even more important than homemaking services to the modern abuser. Remember Ray, who swore at Mary Beth for ignoring him for 2 days while she looked for her missing son? His problem was that he believed that nothing, not even a missing child, should interfere with Beth's duty to his emotional needs. Just as common as the abuser who blows up because dinner is late is the one who explodes because his partner gets tired of listening to him talk endlessly about himself, or because she wants to spend a little time doing something alone that she enjoys, or because she didn't drop everything to soothe him when he was feeling down, or because she failed to anticipate needs or desires he hadn't even expressed. Abusive men often hide their high emotional demands by cloaking them inside as something else. My client, Bert, for example, would be furious if his girlfriend, Kirsten, didn't get off the phone as soon as he came in the door. His excuse to tear into her would be all the money she's wasting on the phone bill when she knows we can't afford it. But we noticed the issue only arose when he wanted her attention. If she called England when he wasn't around, or if he spent an hour on the phone to his parents every Saturday morning, the expense was no big deal. When I have new clients, I go to the board and I draw a compass with the needle pointing straight up to the big N. You want your partner to be this compass, I say to them, and you want to be north, no matter where the compass goes. It always points in the same direction. And no matter where she goes or what she's doing or what's on her mind, you expect to always be focused on you. My clients sometimes protest to me, but that's what being in a relationship is about. We're supposed to focus on each other. But I notice when he focuses on her, most of what he thinks about is what she can do for him, not the other way around. And when he doesn't feel like focusing on her at all, he doesn't bother. An abuser can seem emotionally needy. You can get caught up in a trap of catering to him to fill his bottomless pit, but he's not so much needy as entitled. So no matter how much you give him, it'll never be enough. He'll just keep needing to come up with more demands because he believes his needs are your responsibility until you feel drained down to nothing. Sexual caretaking means that he considers it his partner's duty to keep him satisfied. He may not accept having his advances rejected, yet turn her down whenever he feels like it. Even her pleasure exists for his benefit. If she doesn't reach orgasm, for example, he may resent her for it because he wants the pleasure of seeing himself as a great lover. Not all abusive men have a great interest in sex. Some are too busy with outside relationships or substances that diminish their drive. A few are gay, using their female partners for window dressing. Some of my clients can feel attracted to a woman only as part of the domination fantasy. This style of abuser loses interest in sex if his partner starts to assert herself as an equal human deserving of respect, or he begins to coerce or assault her sexually. In short, he only wants sex on his terms or not at all. Deference refers to the abuser's entitlement to have his tastes and opinions treated as edicts. Once he has made the pronouncement that a certain movie is shallow, or that Louise is trying to seduce Jay at the picnic, or that Republicans don't know how to manage the economy, his partner is supposed to accept his view unquestioningly. It is especially important to him that she does not disagree with him in front of other people. If she does, he may later yell at her, "You made me look like a fool. You're always out to show me up," and similar accusations. His unstated rule is that she is not to question his ideas. Freedom from accountability means that the abusive man considers himself above criticism. If his partner attempts to raise her grievances, she is nagging or provoking him. He believes he should be permitted to ignore the damage his behavior is causing, and he may become retaliatory if anyone tries to get him to look at it. As you can see right there, that just summed up so many of the story times that I give y'all. Entitlement. And this is something that we need to talk about because we see this, like I said before, we see this in church, we see this in companies where the men are the leaders, we see this in so many organizations across the board. Women are just supposed to fall in line. And that's the reason why many of these people and organizations are seeing women say, get someone else to do it. Women are opting out of marriage, out of giving birth, out of caretaking jobs. Women are kind of tired collectively, globally across the board, and I'm seeing it. And I would love to hear your input on this passage that I gave from Why Does He Do That? Go ahead, like, comment, share.